For years, Star Wars fans have been trying to get Lucasfilm to release the original versions of the Star Wars trilogy on DVD and Blu-ray, and now with the 40th anniversary of A New Hope fast approaching, hopes are high that this might actually happen. We're going to get into a couple of reasons why we probably don't want that in a second, but right now let's look at one huge obstacle to getting the original versions of those films released. George Lucas has come out and publicly stated that his 1997 special editions are the definitive version of Star Wars. They are the version he intended to make in the 70s and 80s, but technology wouldn't allow it. He took this approach previously with THX 1138 and American Graffiti, two movies that made it into theatres in versions that the director didn't approve of. When George Lucas finally had the influence he needed, he went back and re-edited these movies and released them in the forms we know today. The originals are not available. I suspect the same will be true for the original Star Wars trilogy. So let's look at the reasons why we probably don't want the original trilogy released. The three films were released as bonus features on a DVD set a number of years ago. I have them, and they're not great quality. Between missing special effects, matte line issues, and of course that missing episode number and subtitle, the original movies are not what we would like to see today in HD. But like George Lucas once said, films are never actually complete, they're only abandoned. My hopes for the 40th anniversary of Star Wars A New Hope is that Lucasfilm may invite George Lucas back to oversee a definitive edition of his original trilogy. If that were to happen, George could make some changes that are long overdue in a now 20-year-old movie. So with that in mind, here are three changes I'd like to see to Star Wars A New Hope Special Edition. Number 3, Han shot first. I know this would be number 1 on a lot of people's list, but for me it's number 3. In the original 1977 cut of this film, Greedo stated his position quite clearly. He was going to kill Han Solo in that cantina, and Han defended himself. He's more than justified, and I think that it serves to show where that character is in his life at that point. It makes his transition to the rebellion general that we see by Return of the Jedi all the more rewarding. I don't mind that he's morally grey at the start, it only matters to me how he ends up. So I'd be quite happy for George to go back in and reintroduce the concept of Han shooting first. Number 2, Jabba the Hutt in the Mos Eisley Spaceball. I really do not like this scene. I've never liked it. The 97 special effects were dreadful. Subsequent editions have tried to sort that out, but it's just terrible. The original concept for this scene was that Jabba would be in the hangar in Docking Bay 94 waiting for Han and Chewbacca before they left. It was going to be portrayed by an actor in the original cut and then replaced in post-production by a stop animation figure. Lucas had constraints in terms of time and money that meant he couldn't do that, and so he left it on the cutting room floor, which is where it should have stayed. Coming back in 97 and putting Jabba the Hutt in that scene just does not work. You have that cut and paste version of Han stepping over Jabba's tail that calls attention to itself. Not to mention Boba Fett looking straight into camera. I just don't like this scene. I want to see it removed. It doesn't add anything to the storyline. We already know what's at stake. We have Han talking to Greedo about Jabba the Hutt. We know he's got a price on his head. That is underpinned in Empire Strikes Back when Han is talking to the general in the rebel base. We know he's a wanted man. We don't need to see this. And Jabba wouldn't go so low as to go and look for Han himself. He'd have servants to do that for him. I think we should go back, remove this scene, put it back on the cutting room floor. Number 1, entering Mos Eisley. I don't know why George felt the need to go back and expand Mos Eisley from what it was in 1977. At this point in the movie, we're seeing Luke's world from his point of view. It should be small, it should be restricted, it should be contained. The special edition version of Mos Eisley is too much of a metropolis. It's far too large. This is not the sort of place that a Jedi Knight in hiding would take the New Hope to sneak him off planet. And it certainly wouldn't be the sort of city that Han would be in if he had a price on his head. Mos Eisley works much better as a small, downtrodden, modest little town. Not to mention the special effects in 1997. The entrance into Mos Eisley was cartoon-like, with comedy robots punching other comedy robots, stormtroopers being duplicated digitally on the scene so the sides of the street mirror themselves. It just seems cheap and nasty. The land speeder effects are just not good. I would like to see this removed. Let's go back to what it was before. Small, low-key. That's the kind of place Obi-Wan would take the New Hope to smuggle him off the planet. Not a big bustling cityscape full of stormtroopers. So there are 3 changes I'd like to see to the special edition of Star Wars: A New Hope for a definitive release to celebrate its 40th anniversary. I'm very keen that that's what's going to happen at the 40th anniversary panel at Celebration this year, that they bring out George, pull him back into the fold and have him oversee a new fresh cut of these films. I don't know if there's any chance of that, but I certainly don't want the originals on, especially on 4K. They do not look good. I'd be interested to know what your points of view are on the special editions, whether you like to see changes, a definitive edition maybe. Would you like George Lucas to oversee that, or should we leave well enough alone? Don't forget to check out Talk Star Wars podcast on iTunes. There's a link in the description to this video. Like and subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Let's talk about Loot Crate. Are you on a quest for epic gear, housewares and collectibles? Loot Crate offers an epic range of pop culture items for less than $20 per month. Whether you're shopping for the geek in your life or you are that geek, Loot Crate is the best surprise you know is coming. Every month there's a different theme and new and exclusive items you can only get with Loot Crate. Treat yourself every month, or give the gift of geeking out to a friend or a loved one. This month we're going primal and unleashing the beasts of some of pop culture's most ferocious franchises. This savagely sweet collection has items from Overwatch, Wolverine, Jurassic World and Predator, and it includes, as always, our monthly t-shirt and pin. You have until the 19th at 9 PM Pacific to subscribe and receive that month's crate, and when the cutoff happens, that's it, it's over. Make sure to head to lootcrate.com/TalkStarWars and enter the code TalkStarWars to save $3 off your new subscription today.